Okay, stop scrolling. Seriously. You know the exact image I'm talking about. It's all over Instagram, all over YouTube. That beautiful, old, traditional Japanese farmhouse. The Akiya. The abandoned house.
It looks perfect, doesn't it? It's always sort of moss-covered, picturesque, and there's this narrative of a foreigner saving it for, an incredibly low price.
Right, like $0. Or maybe $10,000.
Exactly, and it's framed as this brilliant move. You're preserving culture, and you're making this super savvy investment.
And our mission for this deep dive is to take that romantic image and just run it through a brutal filter of finance and physics.
Yeah, because what you're being shown is a lie. A beautifully edited one, but a lie nonetheless.
We have to say this right at the top. The sources are so blunt about it.
They are.
When you see a property listed for free, you are not finding a hidden treasure. You are acquiring what our sources literally call industrial waste.
I mean, think about it. The market is not stupid. If something is free, its actual value is zero. Or, more likely, it's negative.
Negative because of the disposal costs.
Exactly. So in this deep dive, we are going to completely destroy the romance of the Akiya and show you the cold, hard, mathematical reality of the modern alternative, the Takayuri. This is all about physics over feelings.
So let's start with the financial nightmare, because that's what hits you first. You get the house for free, and for a second, you feel like a genius.
For a second. And then the bills start, and they are not small bills.
We're talking about the termite tax and the roof trap. These two things alone just annihilate any savings you thought you had.
And the sources we dug into are just brutally specific on this. The structural reality of these old wooden homes is, it's grim.
Okay, hit us with the termite figure, because that one really jumped out at me.
It's staggering, 90%. 90% of abandoned wooden houses in Japan have structurally compromised pillars because they've been eaten by termites.
Wait, 90? So it's not even a risk. It's basically a guarantee.
It's a certainty. You are buying a house with catastrophic structural failure baked in from day one.
That's just a systemic flaw then,
Right.
given the climate. But it's not just the bugs eating the house from the inside out, right? You mentioned the roof trap.
Correct. The Japanese climate, with the humidity, the rainy season,
Yeah.
it is just merciless on wood.
And these houses are abandoned. No one's been maintaining them.
Exactly. And if a roof on one of these homes sits for just 3 years without maintenance, it's basically destroyed. The structure fails. So now you have termites eating the pillars and water coming through a ruined roof.
So let's do the math, just the basic initial make the house not fall down math.
Okay.
You have to fix the structural rot, you have to deal with the termite damage, and you have to completely replace the roof.
Yeah.
Before anything else, what's the starting price on that?
The minimum absolute baseline starting price, according to the sources, is $100,000.
100,000
US dollars.
Yes. And that is not for a fancy renovation. That is just for structural survival.
That number sounds so extreme for a free house. I mean, I'm sure someone listening is thinking, I'm Andy, I can do some repairs myself. And that's the trap. That's precisely the trap. You're not, replacing a few floorboards.
Right.
You are replacing load-bearing pillars that have been turned to dust by insects. You need a licensed local builder for that. And once they start, $100K is really the low end.
So your brilliant free house is now a $10,000 acquisition,
Yeah.
plus $100,000 in cash you have to spend immediately. And this is where the real financial wall goes up, isn't it?
This is the part that most foreigners completely miss. It's why the locals aren't snapping up these free houses.
The banks.
The banks. Japanese banks will not, under almost any circumstances, lend you money for an old, unmaintained, traditional wooden house.
And why not? Is it just the age?
It's a mix of things. The construction style is unstandardized, so it's impossible for them to assess it as collateral.
Okay.
And they know about the termites, they know about the roof, they see a free house, and they immediately see negative equity. The building itself has zero reliable value to them.
So the buyer needs that $100,000 for repairs, plus the purchase price, and it all has to be cash.
100% cash. You cannot finance the purchase. You cannot finance the repairs. It has to come from your savings.
And that creates what the economists in our sources call the liquidity trap.
Exactly. You've just poured, say, $110,000 of your own cash into an asset that the entire financial system agrees has no value.
So when you want to sell it later,
Good luck. Who's going to buy it? You need another cash buyer, and they're facing the same problems. You are stuck.
you're holding a depreciating non-liquid liability. The money is just It's locked in, frozen.
Totally frozen.
Okay. So I think we've sufficiently destroyed the financial romance.
I think so.
But the thing is, the math is only half the story. The misery doesn't stop there. Once you've emptied your bank account, you actually have to live in this money pit.
Right. And this is where the financial misery becomes physical misery. A lot of foreigners, they see the openness of these houses, you know.
Yeah, the sliding doors, the connection to the outdoors, it all looks very zen.
But that openness, that design, it had a very specific and, let's just say, uncomfortable purpose.
It wasn't about aesthetics.
Not at all. These old homes were built with a single overriding philosophy: make a house for summer.
Make it for summer.
Meaning they were designed to be drafty on purpose. They needed constant maximum airflow to fight the humidity and stop the wood from rotting. They chose to save the house at the expense of the person living inside.
And that design choice has a massive consequence when winter arrives.
A brutal consequence. In winter, the temperature inside one of these old houses is basically the same as the temperature outside.
So it's a tent.
It is quite literally a wooden tent. And this isn't just about being uncomfortable. The source material points to this as a legitimate public health crisis.
And this is where the research got. Frankly, it got really shocking for me. There's a statistic in our sources about fatalities that we just have to share.
You're talking about heat shock.
Yes, heat shock. Tell us about the death toll.
Yeah, this is its vital context. The sources are very clear. Heat shock, which is that extreme rapid temperature change you get when you go from a freezing hallway into a hot bath.
Right.
That phenomenon kills more people in Japan every single year than traffic accidents.
Wow, more than car crashes. We think of Japan and seismic risk, earthquakes. But the quiet, everyday killer is the house itself. Because of this summer-centric design, that temperature swing puts a huge strain on your body.
It's a daily physical hazard, and the technical reason for this is insulation, or the complete lack of it.
It's a technical grade.
Typical 50-year-old Akiya has what's called grade 0 insulation.
Meaning literally zero.
Literally zero insulation. There is no thermal buffer. So the conclusion is pretty stark. You're not buying a historical gem. You're buying a freezing wooden tent that wants to kill you, and it costs $100,000 in cash just to make it stand up straight.
Okay, so we've wiped away the romance. Let's talk about the rational alternative. The modern, engineered, physics-based fortress, the Tato-Yuri.
The pragmatic answer? This is the reality of what most people are buying in Japan today. A Tato-Yuri is basically a spec home.
A standardized spec home.
Exactly. Usually built by these huge companies they call power builders, like the Ida Group. Their whole model is about efficiency and meeting modern codes.
And because they build at such a huge scale, they can control the price. We're not talking about some fancy custom architect's design here.
No, not at all. We're talking about safe, modern, warm housing that's available for a price that is just... It's astonishingly competitive.
What's the price point the sources give?
Between $150,000 and $200,000. And this is the most important part. That price includes the land and the brand new building.
Wait, hold on. So I could spend $110,000 cash for a rotting, freezing tent. Or for $150,000, I can get a brand new house with the land included.
The financial argument for the Akiya just completely vanishes at that point.
It's gone.
But it's also physically a much, much better building. These homes are built on modern engineering, not historical philosophy. Specifically, they're built to seismic grade 3.
That sounds impressive. But what does that actually mean for me living in the house?
It's the highest rating required by Japanese law. To give you some context, a grade 3 building has to be built to the same structural standard as a police station or a fire department.
So it's not just designed to survive an earthquake. It's designed to be standing and fully functional after a major earthquake.
Precisely. So that emergency services can operate out of a building just as strong. And we know it works.
There's real-world proof.
Yeah, the huge Kumamoto earthquakes in 2016. The data is clear. Grade 3 homes had 0 collapses.
0.
You buy the physics, and the physics keeps you safe.
And now we can circle all the way back to the money. Because building a modern, standardized house solves that liquidity trap we talked about.
Oh, absolutely. This is a huge deal. Unlike the termite-infested old houses, the banks love these modern spec homes.
Because they're a known quantity.
They are a known quantity. They meet clear standards. They're new. They're reliable collateral. The bank looks at it and says, yes, this has value.
So I don't need $150,000 in cash sitting in my bank account. What kind of loan can I get?
You can easily get a 35-year loan, and the interest rates are, well, they're typically under 1.0%.
Under 1%.
You're using some of the cheapest money in the world to buy a safe, modern asset instead of dumping your life savings into a rotting liability.
And you get consumer protection. With the Akiya, you buy it, it's yours, problems and all. Zero warranty.
Right.
What about the Takayuri?
By law, it comes with a 10-year warranty. That covers the big things. The structure itself and any rain penetration, you have a decade of legal protection.
A decade versus 0 days.
That's not even a comparison.
So this all boils down to a very clear choice, framed entirely by the sources. It's math over romance.
Let's just lay out the two options for you, the listener, as clearly as possible.
Okay, option A, the romantic. You buy the rotting Akiya with your cash. You immediately spend another $100,000 fixing termites and the roof. You spend your winters freezing with a real risk of heat shock. And at the end of it all, you own an asset you can't sell because no bank will finance it.
Then there's option B, the strategist. You buy a modern Tateyuri.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a boring square box.
But that box is a seismic grade 3 fortress. It's as strong as a police station.
It's warm, it's warranted for 10 years, and it's a liquid asset that you can finance with a loan under 1%, which lets you keep your cash for other things.
The big takeaway from all this research is so sharp. It's basically telling you, stop trying to be a cultural preservationist with your own house. That is a luxury that comes with huge physical and financial risks.
Be a capitalist. Don't buy the romance, buy the physics. Buy the safe, standardized, boring box.
And that really leaves you with a final thought, doesn't it? A provocative question to chew on long after this is over.
Yeah, I mean, when a whole country starts to prioritize these standardized, safe, modern homes, what's the real societal cost of clinging to the old ones? The non-liquid, dangerous assets.
This move toward the boring square box isn't just about what's best for you. It's a national strategy.
It's a national strategy to reduce disaster risk, to improve public health, and to make sure the housing market actually works for people. That it stays liquid and financeable for generations to come.